Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this fifth episode of the annual Lenten tradition known as Letters for Lent from the Autistic Superblog. As with all these videos are going to be dedicated to my dear friend, the late Joseph Defino Sr., who was a wonderful teacher and friend to me, and it was a real Catholic who really showed his faith in what he did. One of the things that he also did, and I mentioned this in the description below, is that he had a lot of patience. There's a lot of people that that exercise patience, and some people look at that as meekness, whereas patience might be considered meekness, but it could also be considered a strength. I mean, most people might consider meekness to be weak, but weakness could also be a strength in the same regard, because you don't want to go, when it comes to international situations, you don't want to go in there and kick people when they're down and basically throwing bombs on anyone without realizing you're going to be hurting the just along with the unjust. The best example of this, for me, is the late Isa Takahata's masterpiece known as Grave of the Fireflies. And it makes me wonder, had the U.S. not been rash when it comes to Japan, it makes you realize how many people could have been saved because of people's patience. How many people could have been saved because of thinking things through, without infiltrating the bad guys, without the good guys getting involved in the fight. I realize that that's entirely Pollyanna of me, but the point still stands. And even in my own life too. I've had to be patient when I could have been mad at someone, and I have been mad at people. But that's also when my patience was at a premium. And I realized that in my life, I've been given a lot more patience than most. Sometimes I worry if people just tolerate me, or maybe it's because of their patience for who I am as an individual. I always worry about not seeming to feel impatient at times, but that's also a lesson for me to grow in my own patience. And I know I'm not alone. Think about the worst teacher that people have ever had. Or rather, I'll go to teachers on both sides. Teachers have a really tough job when it comes to being patient. They want to be strict and firm when they need to be, but they also realize that they might be the first person to really notice them if their home life is not that great, or they feel like things are not going well. Or I've always mentioned it to my friends. It's always nice to be patient with people, because we don't know what's going on other people's sides of the board. And it's the same thing with teachers, it's the same thing with individuals, and it's the same thing everywhere. But then there might be teachers that might be frazzled, who again, their patience might be at a premium, and they might feel that the last thing they want to do is be patient. They just feel the need at some points to just vent their frustrations. And then there's the other type of teachers, and the teachers I know, including Joe Sr., God rest his soul, were very patient, were very kind, were very thoughtful to me, that thought the world of me. And for them, I absolutely have to give them the proper credit and the proper respect, because they were able to take a chance on me, and it's because of them and my family and friends that I'm the person I am right now. And when it comes to patience, cannot mention this without mentioning my family. My family at my worst have got to be saints to deal with someone like me. I'm sure there are times when I've driven their patience to the nth degree. There have been times when I might have been angry and frustrated, and their patience goes out the window. Um, and there have been times when I've lost my patience on them, and for that, I wanted to say I'm sorry. But that's no excuse, of course. But I mean, like, it's also an exercise in how patience can help others in similar circumstances. So I want to ask all you, dear readers and viewers, um, where, who can you show patience to? Who needs patience in their lives? Who needs to be given some grace? I mean, who needs to learn more about being kind? And we'll get to that next week. But who also needs to be shown patience? Where can you show patience to other people? And where can that patience be given to you? Where can you give that grace to yourself? Those are the questions I want to just leave with as it comes to this video. Everything's going to build to another thing, but patience is also a great way to start when it comes to building. Imagine how much patience God has for all of us to deal with what we deal with on a daily basis and still have the patience and the ability to love us even at our worst. And that's something we all need to realize right now. That patience, sometimes grace also comes from God, but it's also something we can give to ourselves in the same respect. So, dear readers and viewers, if you like these videos, please check me out here on the Autistic Super channel on YouTube. And you can check out all my videos. You can check me out on social media. I will not be checking social media. But you can check out all my videos on the autisticsuperblog.wordpress.com. Until next time, dear readers and viewers and listeners, stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith, and as always, shine on.